Hello everyone, this is Robin Madigan. Let us take you through Sydney, Australia in less than 36 hours. So the first thing we did when we landed at 8 p.m. was grab some large coffees and waited for the Uber. While waiting for the Uber, this was the perfect time for some good old Sydney selfies and photos in the airport. After checking in, it was about 9 p.m., so we walked around, and a fun street we found was Oxford Street. It was a Monday night and not super busy. The next morning, we got up around 9 a.m. We grabbed coffee and breakfast from the hotel restaurant. This is a view from outside of the hotel, right in Sydney. And then we headed over to the Opera House. And this is the famous Sydney Harbour Bridge. And here you can see the Virgin Cruise. Interestingly, we met some people from the cruise the night before on Oxford Street. And we got very lucky. The weather was about 80 to 85, and it started to increase throughout the day. We booked a tour of the Sydney Opera House and definitely recommend. Our tour guide's name was Sheila, which is Australian slang for girl. We weren't allowed to take videos of too many of the things inside the Opera House, but here are some of the things we were able to take some videos. And this is one of the theaters we were able to take a sneak peek of. There was another theater where they were doing some prep work for the show, the Swan Lake, and it was pretty cool to see some of the rehearsals. The tour was about an hour long, and Sheila was able to show us some areas we probably wouldn't be able to see if we didn't book the tour, so I definitely recommend it. You get some really up-close views of the architecture and the magnificent building that this opera house is, and some historical timelines. Here are some views from inside the Opera House. The views of the surrounding area was gorgeous. After the Opera House, we went over to Bondi Beach area. It was lunchtime, so we were hungry, and we decided to go to the Iceberg Bondi Swimming Club. We did not have a reservation, and we were lucky enough to get 2 seats on the balcony by the water. You do need to have an ID. They scanned it in. From that view was amazing. We were able to see a lot of the locals, or I guess visitors, just tanning. The weather was gorgeous. This is a swim club pool and the beach right adjacent to it. I had some tacos and Matt had some chicken schnitzel. And here are a couple different views from the Bondi Beach Club. It was beautiful. As we only had about 36 hours in Sydney, we did not have time to spend on the beach, but we walked around and enjoyed the nice weather. Afterwards, we headed over to Taronga Zoo, which is right in Sydney. It was about a 40-minute drive over to the zoo. I believe it was about $50 Australian per an adult to get into the zoo. Here we were able to see some kangaroos, and they had a few different marsupials as well. We spent a few hours here. Zoos are some of our favorite places to go when we're on vacation. In addition to the kangaroos, we saw a few different koalas, and we were lucky enough to actually get into one of the koala shows, where they explained a lot about conservation efforts for all these marsupials and the koalas in all of Australia. So definitely recommend the Taronga Zoo in Sydney. It was well worth it. These little guys were amazing. And this is a view from the zoo looking at Sydney. You can see the Harbour Bridge, and if we had zoomed in, you could see the Sydney Opera House. Here are some views driving around Sydney in a couple of the different neighborhoods. After getting back to the hotel and taking a long nap, we went to the Mill, which was a little pub around the hotel. Got some cocktails and some tacos since it was Tuesday. And the next morning, we tried some Weetabix and some Vegemite from the airport lounge and headed off to Cairns, which we'll show in another video.